Okay, so hello everybody and welcome to the Future of Capsim webinar. My name is Carter Allagood. I'm Director of Client Services at Capsim. Joining me today are Retta Shafai, President, and Jordan Novak, Director of Product Design and Development. You know, we've done similar webinars in the past to talk about new developments at Capsim, and I cannot remember a time where we've had so many exciting new things to talk about. We're going to cover a lot today. I'll warn you in advance, and some topics will warrant webinars of their own, which we will do in the future. But please remember that we are available to answer any question you have, and we're happy to walk through any specific new product or feature that you want to know more about. You can type questions into a question section in the webinar panel. Also, there's a chat section if you want to communicate with us. So now I'm pleased to introduce Retta and Jordan to tell us about some of these new exciting things. Retta?
Thank you, Carter. Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Retta Shafai. I'm the President of Capsim Management Simulations. It is my pleasure to chat with you today about some of the things we've been cooking up here at Capsim. A little bit of background. I've been with Capsim for a little over 11 years, but I was introduced to Capsim Simulations as a student years before that. So whenever I think that I've been introduced to Capsim a long time ago, I meet professors who were introduced to our simulations for much longer than me. Just last month at our user conference, for example, I was talking to Professors David MacArthur and Professor Bill Ritchie, who have been using our simulations for 20 years and 15 years respectively. But this is not a unique case scenario. When I talk to other professors such as Jason, I know he registered for the webinar, Larry Chasteen, Janice, and many more longtime users, they remind me and they remind us of how the simulations we have now, the simulations that we are using today, the simulations that you are using today, emerged and were shaped by the feedback that they had given us over the years. Now, as the number of our users increased, though, especially over the past few years, we needed to better understand how to best serve you, our professors. A lot of you have varying needs and wants. So after all, our number one goal, which is also one of our company values, is that we define our success by the success of our customers. So we embarked on a journey to list our professors' wish list, and what we found was that our customers wanted to add more flexibility to the simulation experience in the classroom. That's number one. Number two, professors wanted to reduce the learning curve for both students and professors. Number three, improve and modernize the user experience and the user interface. Number four, add more content to the simulations and integrate them with different tools and content used by students and professors. And number five, make the simulations more adaptable and accessible to different learners. Now, the challenge that we had was to do all this without disrupting the experience of our current users. So we spent the past few years working on and testing a few options, and today we are excited to share with you a few examples of what we have been working on, and there's so much more that we will be sharing with you over the next few months, and we can't wait to get your feedback. And now, I would like to ask Jordan Novak, our Director of Product Design Development, to walk us through some of what we've been working on. Jordan?
Thank you, Retta. Over the last few years, the Capsim team and I have been on the road visiting many of our customers, many of whom are in attendance to this webinar today. We learned quite a lot about their current needs and challenges moving forward. Throughout these conversations, we learned about the need for additional content, better collaboration tools, different products and services, and scalable solutions for administering Capsim simulations. Let me first start by talking a little bit about the additional content. Leveraging the success we had with the Foundation and Capsim Core e-text, we've been working on a comprehensive business review e-text and a suite of supplemental materials. This e-text is a business review of everything students should know going into a capstone course, compiled into 8 chapters worth of material. Additionally, there are a host of supplemental content such as 5 case stories, 5 department mini cases, 10 real-world stories that are actually tied to the simulation, 17 videos, and 22 projects for capstone teams to work on. We are excited to share that this has been available for purchase since the August term began, and we have already received some positive feedback from our early adopters. Next, I'd like to share how we're working to improve collaboration in our simulations with a new chat feature that we've enabled with one of our products, Capsim Core. Students can chat one-on-one with their teammates. They can chat amongst their team, or, coming soon, they can video chat all while being in the Capsim simulation. Imagine this as having Google Hangouts or Skype functionality while playing their simulation. As I mentioned, this is currently available in one product. However, we'll be working to roll this feature out to all of our simulations throughout the next year. Now, over the last few years, we've been chatting with our customers. We began to see a common pattern emerge with how they administer their classes. Whether online or on campus, professors and administrators have been moving their content to a central location, their learning management system, or LMS as I'll refer to it. We realized there was an opportunity to make our simulations available with this learning management ecosystem, which saves a lot of time and energy for students and professors alike. We also realized that most of our customers are using one of the following learning management systems, and we could do some cool things if we integrated with these systems. First, we could enable a chat feature called single sign-on. Let me show you what this looks like from a student perspective. Now, I teach management strategy, the capstone course at DePaul University. Naturally, we use a Capsim simulation in class, and students access the simulation via D2L, or Brightspace as you might know it, when they enter my course. Students enter their course, they click the simulation button, and they enter the simulation. There's no need to give them an industry ID. There's no need to have them create an account on capsim.com. They will automatically be exactly where they need to be because we securely pull that data from our system and based on the data from yours. Oh, and free of charge, of course, with all of our products. Again, this feature is available with all of our products. We're working on deepening our integration with the learning management providers to do two other things down the road. One is to enable team or group synchronization between the LMS and Capsim. This means if you set students up into groups in the LMS, we will be able to automatically assign them to their appropriate team in our system. The other feature we're working on is the coveted gradebook integration. This is exactly as it sounds. Student scores from Capsim simulations and assessments would be mergeable into your LMS gradebook without the need to download Excel files, rearrange, or upload them to your LMS. Now, as Retta mentioned earlier, we have been working to rebuild our simulations. Rebuilding our simulations has allowed us to do some very powerful things to our products. One of the things we can do with our rebuilt products is make them even more accessible to our customers that have varying disabilities, such as vision impairments, hearing impairments, or traumatic brain injuries. We've learned from our conversations with customers when they use e-learning tools that do not properly support students with disabilities, it becomes an administrative nightmare for them. We also learned that laws are being rewritten to require that they use products that are ADA compliant. Every product of ours is ADA compliant. However, we made a decision long ago to be on the offensive to make our tools even more accessible. To do this, we have not only been rebuilding our products, but working to reach the high level of WCAG 2.0 level AA certified. Boy, is that a mouthful. We're even working with a third-party company which has already certified some of our products with this standard. There is no end to this project because new technologies and features are regularly incorporated to our products. So we remain ever vigilant to evolve our design and development processes to maintain the high standard we hold for all of our products. You can actually learn more about this on our website. If you just go to the homepage and scroll down to the bottom, there's an accessibility statement, or you can go to capsim.com/accessibility. Now, I spoke earlier about one of our efforts to make collaboration even easier when using our products through the chat feature. Down the road, we want to take collaboration to the next level by introducing a new feature we've been calling collaboration mode. Imagine one of your student teams is working together online to make decisions, all from each of their computers. That is, they're not all huddled around one computer making decisions. If the students enter collaboration mode, the simulation interface will act like a Google Docs form for them. So when one student makes decisions, everyone's decisions are automatically updated on their screen. No more questions of, how do I get my teammates' decisions on my computer? And a much simpler process for students to collaborate while in the classroom or scattered around the globe. This feature will roll out to our rebuilt products in the coming year, and we'll be sharing more about updates of this feature when they're closer to their release. Now, that was a lot of updates to our products that I just shared. I'm going to give the floor back to Carter Allagood, who will share some exciting news about our new assessments. Carter?
Excellent. Thank you, Jordan. Okay, so I want to talk about some assessments. Capsim has several assessment products to go along with the simulations. We break these into two broad categories. We've got hard skills and soft or behavioral skill assessments. We have a few products here you may recognize, and I'm excited in a few moments to announce a new hard skills assessment we have coming out. On the soft behavioral skills side, we measure and help development skills like leadership, communication, and teamwork. Our latest instrument here is called Capsim Inbox, which is an incredibly popular tool with both professors and students. Capsim Inbox is an upgrade to the in-basket exercises you may have heard of that companies and universities use to evaluate how students prioritize tasks when presented with a large amount of information and a limited amount of time to do it. Capsim Inbox is an immersive, realistic experience that puts the students into the role of an employee at a small or a large company. The most typical scenario is a day in the life of a manager who's returned from a long weekend. He's got to deal with an inbox full of messages. The student is presented with a number of emails, instant messages, and a folder of reference documents. Capsim Inbox evaluates how the student responds to these messages and the order in which they respond to them, and then gives them a score of how they ranked against their peer group against certain dimensions such as organizing, leading, and communication. We currently have 3 flavors of Inbox. We started with the general management version, and then we developed people management and, my favorite, ethical decision making. These tools, they work well in the classroom when used in conjunction with one of our simulations to provide additional realism and to evaluate common leadership skills while developing business acumen in simulation. They're also used alone in courses like management, organizational behavior, ethics, HR, things like that. As with all of our new products, Capsim Inbox is built on a customizable platform, and we're actively working with some universities and individual professors to build some really interesting new versions to address subject areas such as data analytics, marketing, operations, business law, healthcare management, and some others. Our contributing authors are continually finding new, very cool ways to use this tool, including one which I find really interesting. It's a choose your own adventure style of play, where decisions that the students make early on when using Capsim Inbox will impact what messages they receive in the future, and also how their coworkers can interact with them.
I want to talk about something briefly. Could you go back to the other one?
Sure.
Do you mind? So one of the things that I love about what we do here at Capsim is how much we work with our customers to better understand how to use our products, not only currently, but in the future. So a lot of customers tell us, I like what you did with this product, but it would be great if you can do, and then they share with us some feedback. And Capsim Inbox is just one of the examples, one of the best examples to illustrate that. And I just wanted to, sorry, Carter, I just wanted to share with you something. Since most of you use Capstone or Foundation or Global DNA or Capsim Core, so Capsim Inbox, when we launched it, it was a standalone product. Now, recently, we made it possible that you can add both under the same account. But then what we have in mind, some of what our customers told us is, we wish you could make, this is just to be clear, we're talking about the future of Capsim, so I'm sharing this with you because it's one of the suggestions or the requests that came from our customers. They said, we wish you could make the 2 products talk, because we have some customers who use Capsim Inbox, general management or people management or ethical decision making, in addition to the other simulation. Jordan, for example, uses 2 of them, Jordan, with Capstone. But then they said, wouldn't it be interesting if decision that's made in general management, for instance, impacts what students see and do in Capstone or Foundation or Capsim Core or Capsim Global. And it just sparked a lot of ideas about things that we can do in the future with these products. And the product design development team has been working diligently to try to find ways to possibly make this happen in the future.
That's excellent. And every time I talk with clients, something like that comes up. So that's super exciting. Thank you for providing that. All right. So we spent even more time in the hard skills area. This started with a product we developed over a decade ago called compxm. Many of you are familiar with it, I'm sure. Because most students use the simulation as part of a team, our professors told us it's difficult to know that if student A was learning and contributing quite as much as student B. So we developed compxm to be an individual assessment of knowing and doing. Do the students really understand the business concepts, and can they apply them in the management of a business? So in compxm, the students work on their own, running a simulated business while answering general business knowledge questions. These questions are what we call snowflaked. They're unique to each student because they're based on the actual decisions that they make in the simulation. We've made several improvements to compxm recently. These include the addition of parallel items to further ensure students see different but equivalent exam forms when answering questions. We also give the professor more options in customizing the exam by adding their own questions. New features are available to enhance security of compxm, including reports on student log times, IP restrictions if you're delivering in a school computer lab, and linking with online proctoring services. compxm is used quite often for course outcomes assessments, many times as a final exam in a capstone or a strategy course, and also as a program level assessment for assurance of learning for accreditation purposes. We continue to strengthen our ties to AACSB and ACBSB, and we provide enhanced reporting services to link your compxm results to your specific learning goals. We provide reports of your information in formats the accrediting bodies are looking for. This service in particular has led to a huge expansion of the use of compxm by our clients. As of today, about half of our simulation users also use compxm for course or program assessment. So that, of course, led to the question, why aren't the other half using it too? We started talking with these clients and we learned a few things. We learned that clients really want a tailored exam solution that measures only what they want it to measure, only what they're teaching in the course or in their overall program. They want to be flexible in content and presentation. They wanted to provide feedback to the student and professor and information on skills development over time and reports that can be used for assurance of learning and accreditation purposes. So we took this feedback and we worked with a couple of our very large clients to build a new assessment solution and test it with their students. So I'm excited that today, for the first time ever on a large scale, we are proud to officially announce our latest product called Modular Exam. Modular Exam is a flexible, graded test. It's tailorable to your course or program objectives. Professors can build a test that contains only the subjects and learning outcomes that you're interested in assessing. The exam duration is completely up to you. You can deliver a 30-minute in-class quiz, a 90-minute final exam, a 3-hour pre- and post-program test. In Modular Exam, students are presented with an online test and they answer questions across a wide range of business topics. While students do not make business decisions or run a simulation in Modular Exam, they still receive questions that are snowflaked on randomly generated data, so each student sees unique questions. Modular Exam also offers multiple parallel items to further enhance security. Modular Exam provides actionable feedback to the students on their scores in each exam topic, as well as development tactics and SMART goals to improve their understanding. This is especially valuable when used as a pretest model at the course or program level. Individual students and class cohort performance is tracked over time, and reports are available to administrators, professors, and students alike. Similar to compxm, Modular Exam also works with online proctoring services. Our clients who tested Modular Exam plan to use it at multiple levels as a pretest for the program, in individual courses along the way, and also as a comprehensive assessment at the end of the student's program. As with all of our assessment tools, Capsim will work with you to build assurance and learning reports for accreditation purposes. If you'd like to learn more about modular exam, please request a demo into the chat area or the questions area. We'll get back to you. And now Jordan Novak is going to talk to you about our broad platform tools.
Great, thanks, Carter. So let me pull things back just a little bit. For over the last 5 years, we've been rethinking our product strategy based on the realization that customers want very different things. Many of our customers want to differentiate their program by offering a unique learning experience using our simulations. An example of this is a school known for entrepreneurship wants to incorporate elements of their entrepreneurship curriculum into Capstone and Capsim Core products. Other customers want their curriculum to have our business simulations integrated into each of their core courses, and each class to have a very unique twist on the simulation to meet their course objectives. To accomplish this, we had to rebuild our products to be extremely flexible. And that's exactly what we did. Each rebuilt product is flexible enough where we can add new departments, change decisions, or completely change the learning outcomes of the experience. In fact, we built ourselves a little tool to allow some of our team members here at Capsim to create custom decisions and modules without the need of a developer. We all know the 4 default departments in our simulations, right? R&D, marketing, production, and finance. What if you wanted an additional decision to be made in these departments, or a new department altogether? Let me give you a few examples of what we can do as of today. Our president, Retta, wondered if we could add a decision in R&D where students have the option to spend money to acquire technology and design licenses. The answer, which is usually what I have to say to my boss, Retta, of course we can, and we modeled it so that acquiring technology and design licenses would cost money and, of course, impact R&D cycle time, or how fast your product revision takes, the administrative costs for your company, and production after adjustment, or the yield of your production line. Another example of what we can build on our platform was actually the winner of an internal Capsim competition where our team members submitted their best ideas of modules that can be built with the tool. It is the Internet of Things module, and it looks like this. 3 decisions can be made: wireless capabilities, industry partnerships, and advanced training. These decisions cost money, but offer benefits such as increases in demand, awareness, and accessibility. They may also decrease R&D cycle time, labor, and material costs. The last example I want to share is a collaboration between Capsim and Dr. Munson at the University of Florida. Now, if you were at the Capsim User Conference in August, you may have seen this presentation, but I will boil it down a little bit. Dr. Munson has wanted to use a simulation in his undergrad operations management course that he teaches. When reviewing our products, he loved Capsim Core, but needed much more depth in operations before he used it in his class. So, using our handy module building tool, we were able to change some of the basic starting conditions of our simulation. Students can make decisions in what mix of local versus global suppliers are used, total quality management for both process and product, and what inventory control methods are used. When we have played and tested this internally, we discovered that this is a very unique simulation and with very different constraints placed on the company. As a result, the learning is also quite different, and so are the desired KPIs of the company. In this case, we modeled 5 KPIs the students should be working to achieve. These are year-over-year improvements in sales, asset turnover, ROA, inventory turnover, and contribution margin. Now again, this is what we can do today. We're talking right now. Let me show you a little bit of what the future holds for our platform. Imagine you went to a place called the Capsim Workshop. This is a place where you could create virtually any decision or department you dream of. Let's take a peek inside. Let's say you wanted to create a new module to use with R&D, marketing, production, and finance. You would simply click Create New Module and be guided through a process to add decisions and impacts to the module, all within a user-friendly tool. When you're done creating your module, you can place it on the Capsim Marketplace, which is the App Store for Capsim. The Marketplace is where all add-on modules and content created by professors like you would live. Search by topic, author, or even by what's most popular. Like any good marketplace, customer ratings and reviews are available to help you decide which new content or add-ons are best fit for your course. Now you might be wondering, which products can we add modules and decisions to? Right now, Capsim Core, Capsim Global, and the all-new Capstone 2.0 are ready to have modules added as of today.
Thank you. So before Jordan talks about Capstone 2.0, I just want to talk about a couple of things. So the first one is what Jordan shared with us, what we're calling the platform. It's something that we've been working on for quite some time. So as Jordan said, about 5 years ago is when we started rethink how we should work on our products based on all the feedback that we were getting from our customers. What we learned just as users ourselves, because we teach as well using our products, and when we talk to a lot of our customers, we learned that there's so much more that we want to do with the simulations. Yeah, the simulations are good. They have some of the basic components that you want to use. We think of it as a locomotive that you can attach any cart to it. But then some customers said, well, the way I teach my course is unique in the following way. And then they tell us how their course is unique. And then they say, I wish I could add the following decisions. So we had to stop and rethink how we used to launch updates and changes, where we launch them once a year around August. And we thought, what if we make it possible to give each individual professor or each individual university the ability to have their own unique simulation experience. Now, I just want to clarify one thing. As I said early on when I started talking, we wanted to learn about how customers want to use our products. Some customers, when we were talking to them, they told us, what you are working on is great. However, I don't want it. I want to stick to the current simulation that I've been using for many years. I have a lot of content that I've created. I don't want to change anything. To those customers, I want to assure you that we will never change that on you. So you can still keep the capstone that you've gotten used to, the foundation you've gotten used to, the global DNA, and all the products that you've used. So the way we figured out how to do this, the best way we could come up with, and after talking to so many customers and getting feedback from them, is we basically have two tracks. If you want to keep the current simulation, you get to keep it. And it does not mean that we're not going to improve on it. We'll keep on improving on it. As a matter of fact, it's something that we have been doing all the time. We add more features when necessary. We simplify things in it. But then, to satisfy the requests that were coming in from our customers, we had to rebuild our simulations from the ground up to allow for all the flexibility that we are introducing in this new, what we are calling Capstone 2.0. So just keep that in mind. You get to choose. We will never change. We will never force you to a simulation that you don't want to use. You can keep whatever you want. And Jordan will talk to us about Capstone 2.0.
All right, wonderful. All right, let me dig in and show you Capstone 2.0. All right, when students log in, they will see a totally updated experience, right? So the dashboard's actually been updated, which puts all of the information they need right at their fingertips. Some of the things that they'll actually see are, what's their progress like onboarding? What's their upcoming schedule of rounds or any assignments that you may have? Any alerts or messages that you have for them or their team has for them? And a high-level report on how they're performing within the simulation. Onboarding has also been completely redesigned based on a new learning approach that's been rigorously tested with Capsim Core and Capsim Global. Students will go through a 3-tiered approach to their training: beginner, intermediate, and advanced training. Each training segment has a knowledge check built in to ensure mastery of the concepts critical to using the simulation. This onboarding can be completed in what we're really excited about 45 to 60 minutes. In addition to a new training module and dashboard, the simulation interface itself has gone through some improvements. Students make decisions by using sliders, which are an effective tool for anchoring to help students see minimum versus maximum decisions that can be made. If you prefer to use the standard input boxes, those can be enabled for students as well. While students make their decisions, an alert system lets students know when some of their decisions are concerning. An example of this is when one of their R&D projects takes more than 1 year. We've made several other updates, such as just-in-time information on each department page, such as what the buying criteria is. We removed the recalculate button, meaning decisions are calculated immediately when they're actually being made. You can add up to 10 teams now in each industry that you have. So the companies Garrett, Harper, Irving, and Jasper have joined the sensor industry. We've overhauled the debriefing tool, giving you control of what information you want to share with your students, all ultimately designed to improve learning and make you look like a rock star. You can also add the custom modules like the ones I was describing earlier. And there's so many other features that we just don't have time to get into right now. So Capstone 2.0 will be available for public access and use in your courses starting in January of next year. But if you want to see it for yourself, you're in luck. Starting Monday, we will allow you to preview it at your leisure, and we will give you instructions on how to request access at the end of this webinar. But before I hand things back to Carter for some Q&A, there was just one other thing that we wanted to share with you today. One of the things that the team is tinkering with in the garage is how we can take our simulation debriefs to the next level, and in an engaging way for students. Based on the data we have, the medium to use is clear. Students love videos. So what we're working on with another company that is doing some very interesting things with personalized video is creating a personalized video debrief for students, where it covers key concepts and areas that specific student or team needs to improve. Let me show you a bit under the hood to how these videos will work and what the student experience will be. For each concept that we want to debrief in the video, it'll follow a simple 3-step process. First, we define what the concept is and how it works in real life as well as in the simulation. Second, we reveal their company's score, which actually appears in the video. Third, we teach them specific concepts to each team based on how they actually performed in the simulation. That means each team in your industry could have very different videos played for them because each team has a video that's personalized for them based on how they actually performed. Students are encouraged to build upon their strengths as well as improve in weaker areas. Oh, and this personalized video debrief is available for the student immediately after the round processes. Yeah, it actually happens that fast. Thank you for taking the time to listen and to see all the exciting things that we're working on for the future of Capsim. Now let me hand it back to Carter.
All right. Thanks, Jordan. All right, so that was quite a lot of information. When we were prepping for this webinar, I was just blown away by the sheer volume of things that we need to talk about this year. And I hope we spark some interest in one or more of the items on this list review. If you want to speak to anybody at Capsim about these items, please just type the word demo and the corresponding number into the questions or chat window, and we will set up a call with you to talk about it. For example, if you're interested in learning more about the Capstone course bundle, type in the number 1. If you want to learn more about how you or your associates can deliver tailored exams at the course or program level, type in number 6 for modular exam. And if you want to learn more about what you can do with the new version of Capstone, type in number 9. And then we will get in touch with you as soon as possible. We've got a ton of questions rolling in, and Brendan is here figuring out which ones we need to address. We will, if we can't answer everything in the course of this call, we will answer every question that you guys ask. So please feel free to hit us with anything.
I can start by addressing something about the platform. So I'd like to start, I don't know if anybody asked this question, but every time we talk to customers about the platform, this question comes up. How long would it take to build a new module or add a new decision? So what we were able to do is reduce the time it takes our team to add decisions or to build a module. We built a way that we don't need a developer to do that. Developers are busy doing other things. So it's really quick. However, it all depends on whether the request that came through was clear enough, followed the guidelines that we have, plus how many other requests are in the pipeline. So if anybody has questions about that, feel free to ask. I also wanted to add another thing. There's so much more that we can cover when we talk about the platform that we are going to dedicate a full webinar to cover nothing but this platform, what we also call the module builder, what are the areas that could be affected in the company, what are the options, what you can do, what you cannot do. So that one, we just had to cover to be very, very brief, but there's a lot. I think we will need about 30 minutes to 45 minutes just to cover the platform by itself.
Okay. All right, so the flagged ones are the ones we're going to cover. All right. When will chat and collaboration be available in Foundation? I had a team ask about this morning.
So we're going to be rolling that out in early to mid 2019. So one of the first things that we did when we were thinking about this feature was, let's make this as stable as possible. So we're using it on some of our newer products. So as soon as we're feeling really great about it, and actually it's quite soon, we're going to be enabling that, like I said, early to mid 2019.
So one of the things that you might have noticed when we talked about new features, you might have noticed that we talk about a product that you might not use. So keep in mind, the majority of our users use Capstone and Foundation, and then Capsim Core and Global DNA are catching up to them. So when we want to test a new feature, for example, when we were looking at team syncing, we had to test it on a product that will not disrupt our users. When we wanted to test the chat feature, for example, we had to test it on we did not want to test it on Capstone because we did not want to disrupt your experience and your student experience in the classroom.
Okay. What about Foundation 2.0? Is that going to come out as well?
So first, we want to launch Capstone 2.0. We actually have been working on it, and now it's ready. We want to pause for a little bit just to learn from the experience, what kind of feedback we get. And immediately after this, that will be the next product that we would build, Foundation 2.0. And if you have, whoever's asked that question, if you have feedback about that, so we have a team here at Capsim that we started this team about 5 years ago. We call the team the Product Design and Development Team. Their responsibility is to always look for ways to improve the experience of our users, so both students and professors, and always find new ways, new products or new features to add. If you have any feedback about how to make Foundation 2.0 work, because we have questions, please reach out to us and somebody will talk to you.
Somebody asked, is compxm still available? Absolutely, compxm is still available. And then, will the new video debrief address the balanced scorecard?
So, great question. So we're starting with some basic concepts so when we started to build this tool, we talked to our client relationship consultants because they're on the front line talking to you and your students. And we wanted to see what are the most common things that students are struggling with when they give us a call, or what are some of the concepts that our professors would really like to have, explained to students and not spend a lot of time in the class doing. So we started to do things like have them understand sales and contribution margin, variable costs, those types of things. Eventually, we definitely see this evolving into how they actually scored in their simulation, whether it's success measures or the balanced scorecard or a variety of other scoring methods.
I just want to add also that so full disclosure, this software that we're using, so we evaluated a lot of different tools, and we like this the most, but it's not free. So there's a cost to using it, and we will need to pass on the cost to the end user, but we will make sure that the cost, what we will charge is just to cover the cost of using the software for us.
Right. Okay, we have a couple questions about we'd like to develop some modules, but I think that you talked about the platform webinar coming up. We'll address that. Okay, the cost of Capstone 2.0 compared to the classic one.
Same.
As well as the new training modules. This is really needed. Alternatively, can we customize Capstone to have fewer segments?
Jordan, you want to say? All right. So Capstone, you mean 2.0? One of the features that we launched in Capsim Core is the ability to de-emphasize what you focus on in the classroom. So remember, we have R&D, marketing, production, and finance. One of the requests we got from customers is if we could turn one of the departments off. So we've tested a lot of different ways to do that, and what we came up with is what's called a policy decision, where instead of students make decisions in every single area in a given department, it turns into a policy where students make one single decision. It's what's the policy of this department, and they're done. Because customers told us they really want to give students the understanding of what that area means, but they don't want them to spend a lot of time on it. So that's something that we've introduced. We tested it with one department. Now in Capsim Core, you can do it with any one department at a time. Once we tested that, we knew that it works. Then we introduced that, or we are introducing it to Capsim Global, and we will also introduce it to Capstone 2.0. The next thing somebody might ask, if you can do that with two departments, we've tested that internally. As I said, the product design development team, they actually don't sleep. That's all they do. They keep on testing. We want to make sure that before we hand you something, it actually works well in your classroom. So that's the other thing that we are testing, whether you could do multiple departments at the same time.
Will there be a professor training session next year for Capstone 2.0?
Absolutely. Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so this one's a little in-depth. The ability to benchmark either Capstone or compxm depends on a standardized set of modules, like HR or 2QM or TQM. How will you maintain this with so many different configurations, companies, modules, debrief tools?
So I can answer that as far as the modular exam. So I'll start with that. It's something that we had to deal with when we worked with a couple of clients, and it's actually based on some of requests from some very large clients that we worked on that product. And what we learned is customers like flexibility, but they also like to be able to compare their results to others. So what we're thinking with that assessment, you have two options. You want to use the standard product, the standard exam, then you will be able to have comparative data. But if you want to modify it, at one point you modify it too much, you're on your own. You can measure, you can look at your students and do an internal benchmarking, not external benchmarking, which is the same thing that we do with compxm. And that's the same thing that we will plan on doing with the new products. Now, these are things that we will learn as we go. Once we launch the product, we want to see how many use the standard version, how many you customize it, what kind of customization, and we should be able to flag that in our backend. So the results that we show you, we could down the road show you, you could measure against everybody versus measuring against simulations that are similar to yours, which is the standard one. Once you deviate from that, that will be a bit tricky. We're hoping our number of users is growing a lot. So we're hoping that with that growth, we would have enough customers who are using different versions of different combinations of our products that you will still be able to measure it. And if I did not answer your question, please let me know, and I'll be more than happy to talk further about it, or we can talk offline.
Okay, excellent. When will 10 teams be available in Foundation?
Same answer to when Foundation 2.0 goes live. When that goes live, the 10 teams feature will be active as well.
Okay. So we're butting up against our planned time for this webinar, and we've got to less than half the questions. But as I said, we will get back to everybody to answer these questions. And I want to thank everybody for your time. You guys.
Yep, we can.
Okay.
So we can continue with the questions. Anybody who needs to go, this is being recorded,
yep.
Correct? We will send you the recording, but if you have more questions, we will stick around for about 10 minutes or so.
Okay. What languages will the new versions be available?
So currently, the plan is to have them available in English. We have only Capsim Core that's completely translated into 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 5 different languages. If you have specific need for the new products to be translated, let us know. We can talk to you. And we have a team here that's dedicated to our international effort. So we can connect you with them, and they will talk to you about that.
All right. It's hard to the screen keeps moving every time somebody posts a new question. So it's hard to track them all down. Let's see. Brendan, did you see any others that we want to really cover? Oh my goodness, it's a long
improved onboarding and foundation.
Yeah.
Any question?
When will improved onboarding be available in Foundation? So
Absolutely. So that improved onboarding that I talked about for Capstone 2.0 will also be available for Foundation 2.0 as soon as we release that. So it's not like a feature that will be done later on down the road. We've also been making some updates to our onboarding for Capstone and Foundation over the last couple of years, all to help students get up the learning curve faster, more efficiently, and more effectively. So those updates will not cease to exist. We will continue to work on that.
Yeah, we actually measured, when we say we improved, it's not just on our perspective. We measured how long it takes students to go through the getting started situation analysis, for instance. So the changes that we are making, we know for a fact that they are making it easier for students to go through our onboarding without diminishing the learning.
Yeah, actually in Capstone, we improved the completion time. We reduced it by 50%. And in Foundation, we reduced it by almost 65%.
Yep.
And the cool thing is with those updates, we look to see how many people actually complete the whole tutorial.
Yep.
The completion rate went up significantly. So we see less students drop out either due to frustration or just not understanding the process.
Yeah, I saw that. Is there a question in there? You're getting a peek behind the curtain, everybody. We're rapidly trying to go through these questions to answer them. When is modular exam available? I can answer it.
Go ahead, Carter.
All right, so it's available right now. And in fact, we have a few clients actively using it. And we are continually developing new content areas. This is one of my favorite new tools that we have because it is so highly customizable, and we can come up with some really cool content to cover every aspect. In fact, even go outside of business, which we're exploring as well. So absolutely, we're only improving it over time. It's available right now, though, for use.
And if you're interested in assessing certain topics in modular exam, please even just chat that to us right now with what topics you're interested in. It's always great to get data from you.
Would it be possible to build a combined class with an international school class partner that would allow truly global teams to work together online as well as compete against each other? That's cool.
We're actually doing that with one of our customers. They have various locations all around the globe. It's there's an umbrella for the entire school system, but they actually do compete against each other, different classes altogether. And we even have on the high school level too. Different high schools actually compete against each other. I don't know if you know a little bit more about that, but
I know the Latin, we have a client in Latin America. That's what they do. They have a global challenge.
Right.
Yeah. So and we, as you guys know, we do our own challenge twice per year. But we do, as Jordan mentioned, have a couple schools that are either doing their intra-school challenges or they're trying to compete with another specific school.
So back to that question real quick. If you are interested in doing something like that, just send an email to support@capsim.com and we'll do our best to try to parlay some type of competition with you and your other institutions that you're interested in.
We'll share with you best practices, what we've learned from that.
Absolutely.
Trial accounts in Capstone 2.0, absolutely. As Jordan mentioned, we can set those up for you immediately and let you run through it. Well, on Monday, sorry.
Yeah.
I want to set too many false expectations there.
I want to say something about Capstone 2.0. If any professor who has been using our products for a long time starts using this other product, I want you to keep something in mind. When we designed Capstone 2.0, we had to think about somebody who's never used any of our products. So we wanted to make it as easy as possible to onboard. Just bear with us. So if you go to Capstone 2.0 and you're looking for the options that you've seen in Capstone, some of them might be moved around. Just spend some time. You'll be able to figure out how to use it in no time, and that's how we were building. That's how we built it. We built it with the idea that you do not need to memorize everything that you've gotten used to or that our simulation offers. Whatever is important is right there in front of you, and we made it possible that it just makes perfect sense to a new user.
All right, guys, we have time for one more question. Which of these zingers do I want to hit you with, Jordan? All right, will there be the ability to hide aspects of the dashboard from students so that an instructor does not desire them to see?
Absolutely. So in the future, like I said, we built these products from scratch, which means customizing and personalizing are at the forefront of some of the features. So yes, we will be able to extend this out so you can make this look basically any way you want and reveal content as you like or hide it as you like.
Excellent.
I wonder, the professor who asked this question, if you mean the current product, so Capstone, we actually did that with the situation analysis. Some professors did not want to make it a requirement. Personally, when I teach using Capstone, I do not want them to go through the situation analysis. I have a different exercise for them. So that's something that's also available. If you're thinking about current products, please let us know. But as Jordan said, in the new products, absolutely.
Okay, excellent. Guys, for all the other questions, we will definitely answer you via email after the webinar. And I really appreciate the time that you've invested in listening to us. And please get in contact with us. Ask us any questions you like. We're always available to answer them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Take care.